Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 18 recap video. I have everything for you. I hope that you had yourselves a fantastic weekend. One, we're going to go over my best buys column for the last time of the regular season. I'm going to go through and see where we got lucky, where we got unlucky. Week 18 was a crazy week as we kind of anticipated it was going to be. And from the time that I turned it in, which was end of day on Wednesday, until the time lineups locked on Sunday morning, everything was kind of, the apple cart had been turned upside down. As Overzed said, the slate had been completely flipped on its head. I made one major mistake in high stakes. We're going to go over that. I had a nice run in the Millionaire Maker, and we're going to go over the top 10 finishers in the SmizzGang Listener League from week 18. So congratulations to everybody who came in the top 10. Leave me a reply down below. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
There's no listener league this week, so let's just jump right into best buys. We're going headfirst into this. Oh, look, this actually turned out well. Some things age well. Daily Fantasy Week 18 best buys include a bunch of Broncos. We were on the Wilson and Jerry Jeudy single stack. That paid off for us. I only listed 2 quarterbacks this week because there was a lot of hokey pokeying going on. We didn't know which quarterbacks were going to play and which ones weren't, so I only wrote up 2. I had 3 or 4 listed, but like it was unclear if like Joe Burrow was going to play. It was unclear if the Bills were going to have to play. It was unclear on a lot of different things for the Sunday slate by the time that I turned this lineup in or this article in. So I went with Geno Smith, who was like 15.6 points is just not enough. 2 more interceptions. He's thrown a lot of them this year. 19 of 31, 213, 1 touchdown, ran for 51 yards, which kind of helped his score along. The running quarterbacks are always going to be a cheat code in fantasy, and more specifically in daily fantasy when we have to fit players under a salary cap. Russ Wilson was an absolute smash on only 13 completions. That was like the eye-popping thing. We got lucky here. He was hyper efficient. I've told you guys repeatedly, not just this season, but for the entire decade plus that I've been doing content, it's efficiency and not volume that leads to directly to quarterback scoring in daily fantasy. He only completed 13 passes. He only threw 24, so he didn't even complete a whole lot of them. However, they went for 283 yards. It's a lot. It's over 20 yards per completion. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, ran for 18 yards, 24.1 DraftKings points at 5,400. Which allowed you to get whatever you want. Austin Eckler, I had come off of the Chargers starters because they should not have played in this game by Sunday. I wrote up 2 of them in this article. One of them ended up smashing, but I don't even think I can take credit for that because they should not have had to play. When the Ravens lost, nobody should have played. Eckler should have been out. Herbert should have been out. Mike Williams, who ended up getting back spasms, should have been out. Keenan Allen should have been out. None of those guys should have played a snap. However, the coaching staff were idiots. Austin Eckler did not hit 11 fantasy points, but like, who cares? You shouldn't have played him anyway by the time this slate locked. Najee Harris, 15.4 points. He was fine. 84 yards on 24 opportunities. A touchdown, had 10 yards receiving. He's fine. Zach Moss, absolute smash. I'm a little bit sad about 2 things. The first one highlighted right here. The next one highlighted later in the article. That we can no longer play running backs against the Houston Texans. It was the gift that kept on giving for 18 straight weeks. Well, 17. They did have a bye week. We were just going to play them against it. Like, look, sometimes I try to keep things as simple as possible. He's playing the Texans. I want him in week 18. It was that easy. We knew he was going to get over 20 opportunities because this game was projected to play closely. He got 21, including 3 targets, which he caught all 3 of. Got you the 100-yard bonus and a touchdown. 24.1 points in one of the most major blunders of all time, where the Houston Texans ended up winning this game on a Hail Mary pass that got caught on a 4th down situation in the end zone. And then they completed the 2-point conversion to win it. And like, Lovie Smith got fired before, like, as soon as that 2-point conversion was completed, he got fired. That was what got him fired. Losing this number 1 pick got him fired. Cam Akers, he was fine. Not thrilling. 18.8 points. He 3x'd his salary. It's normal. It's kind of what we thought. We also were saying both running backs in this game are viable, and Ken Walker III also did very well in this game, getting you the 100-yard bonus too. 140 yards from Cam Akers, 3 catches on 3 targets, 18.8. Tyler Algier, also fine. 135 yards, did not score a touchdown. Got vultured by Cordell Patterson inside the 5-yard line, which would have made this a super smash day. 16.5 points. All the running backs that were in play at value were just fine. CeeDee Lamb well, 16.2 points. Caught 5 balls, 7 targets, 52 yards, and a touchdown to kind of salvage things. But the Cowboys looked like an absolute mess all day. Keenan Allen was the biggest smash on the list. Well, one of them. Biggest smash in the article this week. In a game he shouldn't have played. Scored 2 touchdowns, caught 8 of 11 targets, 102 yards, 33.2 DraftKings points. If you were one of the 1 or 2% of people who were hard-headed and just stayed on Keenan Allen, congratulations to you. He should not have played in this game. Jerry Jeudy was going to play. This was going to play against the backup defensive players for the Chargers. This was the automatic. We highlighted this in first look this week. 27.3 points. It's a lot. Very efficient. Caught 5 of 6 balls for 154, but no touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, I'm going to say that we got entirely unlucky on the Garrett Wilson play. First of all, he caught 9 balls on 17 targets. Second of all, he did have the 100-yard bonus, ended with 89 yards. And then they did the Stanford band play, and he lost the 100-yard bonus, lost like 15 or 16 yards on that play. So his day was good with 17.9 points for only 5,800. But it could have been a lot better if you just don't want your players to get the ball in their hands in a Stanford band situation. George Kittle once again crushes the Arizona Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals, the other thing that I'm very sad about, that we don't get to play tight ends against Arizona anymore this season. It's sad. I have to wait till September to play a running back against Houston and a tight end against Arizona again. I'm very sad about this because George Kittle, even though he only had 4 catches on 6 targets for 29 yards, he caught 2 more touchdowns against Arizona, giving him 18.9 DraftKings points. This turned out to be a big mistake. Fool's gold. I'll take an L here on Albert O. He lived up to the O in his last name with 0 fantasy points this week. Tyler Higbee, 4 of 7 for 33 yards, 7.3 DraftKings points. Whatever. Kate Otten was no longer in play as we suspected. The Bucs were going to sit all of their starters, and he was one of them. They played him like into the second quarter, so like Otten was off the list by the time lineups got here, and hopefully you adjusted as well. Take a look at my high stakes lineup. It just a middling day. Didn't do anything great in this one. Didn't cash in any of the high stakes this week. Obviously, I'm doing things a little bit different in high stakes than I would do in lower stakes stuff, because you can stomach having in a small tournament like this. This is like a 43 person tournament. You're going to have higher percentages. You only have to get off in other situations. So like Allen to Diggs was a very good stack. Wilson had a very good day. Harris was fine. Ken Walker was fine. This was the mistake. One, I could have gotten off Shaheed, but I didn't. Albert O had 0 points. I had shifted, as soon as inactives came out, I had shifted all of my Albert O shares over to Isaiah Likely. And then I talked myself out of it because I said, you know what? Everybody on the Ravens is inactive. Mark Andrews is inactive. They're playing a backup quarterback, which really doesn't matter. He's still going to throw the ball 25, 35 times, which means that Isaiah Likely is going to get peppered with targets. So I was on him and I said, well, wait a minute. Likely is very involved in what they want to do in the playoffs, and maybe he's active because they need numbers of people active, but they're going to play like the 3rd and 4th stringer. So I talked myself out of Isaiah Likely in high stakes, and he had 21 DraftKings points, which would have propelled this 115-point lineup that finished in 29th place all the way up to like 136. Let's find somebody up here. Let's see what where was Likely. Somebody has him right here. Likely 21.3 points, 7% played. Not very many people were on him. 103 yards, 8 receptions, almost ended with a touchdown. It would have put me right here, which would have essentially made me cash in all the high stakes. So that one play for the same price, 2,800 versus 2,700. That one play defined my day in terms of high stakes. In the Millionaire Maker, I had a nice little run, came in 177th. I had a lot remaining. And you see, I was really heavy on Carter, who ended up at 1.4%. With the assumption, as soon as the Ravens sat everybody, I shifted to like 25% DeAndre Carter, because one, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams should not have played, which means he was going to be on the field to run, assumedly, 70 routes, be on the field for 70 snaps, run all the routes on all the dropbacks, not 70 routes, like 35, from even a backup quarterback where he should get 5 to 10 targets. And he had some fun incentives that he could go for. They did not get him those either. So him only getting 6.3 points didn't kill me, but like I thought that there was a possibility of a 15 to 20 point ceiling here. That kind of sucked. I did have the bring back here, Josh Allen, Diggs, Parker. Late games, I had Walker, who got stuffed on the 1 yard line, Goddard, who did not do anywhere near enough, and I had Carter. I was in like 300 something place. You can see I had the Bengals D in this lineup, and the winner had like 195 points. Very low scoring week as we predicted. One, because of a lot of the backups. Two, because of the fact that no games really had a high total. Everything was around 38 to 43. So we knew it was going to be a lower scoring day. Hit on Moss. Algier was fine. No snowflakes in the lineup. Had a few others that really challenged in the top 10K as well, but just kind of petered out as the time they got there. But like, I wish the Chargers had done what they were supposed to do. Let's take a look at Rainmakers before we get on to the Listener League. Rainmakers was ugly for me this week. It costs nothing to enter the games once you have the cards, and it's like week 18, so I've had these cards all year. However, around like week 9 and 10, I shifted my collection more towards a playoff mindset. Selling cards on teams that weren't going to make the playoffs, and moving myself into or keeping cards that are on teams, as you can see, that had playoff possibilities or were locked into playoff spots. So my lineups this week didn't really bust a grape. So I had this lineup. These were my two best lineups. This Josh Allen, Diggs, Brown, plugged in these two running backs in this one. The Ritter and London. Like, I had a Ritter London stack, and that one cashed in Legendary with Joe Mixon, Pittman Jr., Jalen Waddle. So not a great day in Rainmakers for me, but again, it's free. And we move on to the playoffs, and the playoffs are going to be a whole lot of fun in Rainmakers as well. Let's take a look at the Listener League and shout out the top 10 finishers. Joey Splacavalia with Russ Wilson, Chase Edmonds, who didn't do anything, Zach Moss, who did, had Keenan Allen at 1% in his lineup. Congratulations to him. Jamar Chase, Steph Diggs, had Isaiah Likely, Ken Walker, Broncos D. Very, very solid lineup. Congratulations to him for taking down the final Listener League of the year. Big Barrett with a Russ Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton double stack, brought it back with Keenan Allen. Telling you guys, even in week 18, double stack bring back was very profitable. E4T, Russ Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Panther 33, a Josh Allen stack also had Jerry Jeudy in it. Crave 415, 415. Hit Sticks 9, Clutch Player came in 7th. They're behind my head, so you guys can't really see them. Grand 2515, LV Max, and M Nutstrom. Congratulations to every single one of you guys. Look at all the Russ Wilsons. Look at all the Russ Wilsons. Who's taking in the content? You could tell just by looking at the Listener League. Congratulations to you guys who finished in the top 10. I wish you all the best of luck in the playoffs. We will have plenty of content for the playoffs in terms of first looks and lineup builder shows and everything else as the playoffs go on for Daily Fantasy. Even though the content kind of slows down for the playoffs, we don't have as much content that we could possibly put out for each playoff slate. There will be content for the playoffs as well, just like there has been every year. So thank you guys for being here all year on the recap videos. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.